And we're live. Welcome. It is the Game On Interviews, and I am Jean Berry, and I'm your play coach, game development support person, and creator of the Game Magic Clubs, along with my fabulous partner, Michelle Demers. And today, I get to have the pleasure of having Michelle as my guest on our Game On interview. So I'm very excited for you to meet her. Sometimes she hangs out in the background of the clubs, right? But I want you to know her front and center today because she does extraordinary things. So Michelle is the creator and CEO of GetItDoneClubs.com, which is an online transformational communities that provide daily accountability and coaching for people working on any goals and dreams. Michelle is an MBA, and business coaches, consultants, and speakers hire her to help them grow their businesses, both online and offline. And she's been doing that for 18 years. She's really, really, really good at it. I know. And in addition, she works with other coaches and consultants to run, build, and grow their own online Get It Done clubs. And so that she can help them also grow their businesses in that way. She's also an infinite possibility certified coach. She lives in Boston, Massachusetts, or near Boston, Massachusetts, and is a fabulously doting auntie to her four nieces and nephews, or four nephews. It's all boys. And she coaches youth soccer, enjoys restaurants and karaoke, and hanging out with her fabulously cute little Tibetan Terrier, Birchie. So welcome, Michelle.
Well, thank you. Thanks for that great intro.
Well, I'm so glad to have you here today. And so, of course, in addition to that, all of that, is there anything that you would like to add to kind of what you're doing on the planet?
I think you captured it. I'm sure in our conversation more will come out. But yeah, essentially my business and coaching career has taken lots of windy twists and turns, but for the last few years, I've really been focused on these online groups that I'm doing in Get It Done clubs, and that's really where I'm spending most of my time these days, is creating new clubs, working with partners like yourself, and just growing those communities and helping people.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'm so happy to have you here because, as I started to mention before, we have been partnering for not quite a year, almost a year now, on Get It Done clubs within my business and helping people to get stuff done around game development and their inspiration and intuition and all those kind of things. And what we've seen is a really major shift in what people get done, like that they actually progress on their goals and they truly happen. So why is it that people need help and teamwork, basically, to get it done?
Oh my goodness. Well, we're all human, and to take on any task, it's hard to kind of be in that vacuum, isolated by ourselves. And then on top of that, we have demands of life, of family, of friends, of just busyness in our days and our schedules. And so, there's lots of things that come up in trying to work on your goals. Sometimes it's logistical, and then oftentimes, hey, if you're pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone, it gets kind of scary. There's all sorts of things that can come along that can get you stuck. And so the beauty of the club environment is, and just for those who haven't seen it, because we don't have a visual of what it looks like, imagine a grid where, let's say you have 10 or 12 people in a group, and every day of the month, there's a box for each person to check in. And so we can see when people are showing up and when they're not, which is what makes it more powerful than just a Facebook group for accountability. And it's daily accountability. So people are checking in pretty much 4, 5, 6 days a week, which is such a stronger type of accountability than typically weekly is what a lot of coaches and communities and courses and groups do, because there's a lot that can happen in a week. So we need that daily accountability, and so my platform provides that. And that's why it's such a great fit with your games, Jean, because your games are meant to be played daily and to have a daily practice, so they really reinforce each other.
Well, exactly. And that's what I find with a lot of coaches is that they are checking in once a week or maybe even twice a month with their clients. Mm-hmm. And, they come up with these brilliant, things and insights and, let's make this happen. And then their head gets in their way, right? They're like, well, wait, can I really do that? And so that moment when it dips down into our rabbit hole or wherever we go and we're unable to be in that space of the brilliance and the things that our coaches evoke in us. I mean, it's really fun to work with coaches, and yet the in-between time is where the rubber meets the road and trying to get all that done. And I've just seen so many people slow down because of it and not getting the stuff done that they want to get done because they're just not doing it every day.
Yeah, well, in addition to the platform, I have a process that people do about just doing their goal 15 minutes a day. If they can do more, that's great. But if they just stick to a minimum of 15 daily touches for small bites, it increases their consistency, and actually it's the whole tortoise and the hare situation, right? So we're teaching people how to work like a tortoise where they do a little bit every day, and by the time they get to the end, they actually will have beaten the hare, because the hare will be doing sprints and burnouts and slide backs and that sort of thing. And so it's not just teaching people what to work on, but it's how to work on it, and giving them the skills and tools and the habits to actually do the work. That's what a lot of other coaching programs are missing. They're coaching on the topic matter, how to lose weight, how to increase your sales, but they're not coaching on how to actually work on it every day. And that's what we teach in the club. So when you marry the how do I work on it with the subject matter, now you have a complete way to support your client. In getting the work done.
That is so amazing. And so how did that all come about? I mean, how did you discover that this was really the thing, or what path took you to this place of really realizing that was the key?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I've been kind of dabbling in the world of online communities since about 2005. I was one of those early coaching adopters back. I started in the coaching world in 2000 when it was kind of just an early trend starting. And I was working with Coachville.com. They're a coaching school. They're still around. And I ended up working with the company on hosting one of their online communities around one of their coaching groups. So I started learning about these online communities, and over the years I was running different ones, but they were all content-based communities. It was all courses and learning and more videos and audios and this and that. And what I've seen in the trends over the last 3 to 5 years is that so many people are creating courses now. And actually, it's something that we're advised as coaches, consultants, and people who are subject matter experts. It's something that we're advised to do to grow our business. However, what's happening is, our society is getting very content heavy. We have too much content coming at us from all directions, social media, news, and now all these courses that everyone's taking. And so the piece that was happening was it just wasn't getting done. And so the trend was typically if you offer an online course, maybe 10% of the people even finish the course. A smaller percentage actually do the work in the course more than just watching it. A smaller percentage actually try to implement it in their business or whatever aspect of their life, and an even smaller percent get an actual result from it. So out of 100%, maybe 2 or 3% of people are having a fully successful experience in your program.
Wow.
And the thing that's missing is the ongoing coaching and support piece, which is what this platform provide. So I was searching for a solution because I was seeing clients weren't successful, weren't getting the work done, didn't have the support. But yet I didn't have the right tool as a coach to make sure that I could help them. So I found the club platform. I've become an expert on it, and now I provide that whole structure, accountability, how we work piece, and I can plug that into anyone else's course, coaching program, mastermind group, or whatever.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, so that comes down to this whole idea then of teamwork and then further on partnership. So first of all, what does teamwork have to do with the platform and the success of the people who are in there? Like, what does that provide with the team that's in there? And then we'll talk about partnership also.
Sure. So again, just to give people a visual, imagine you're in a small group. It could be 6 people, 8 people, usually no more than 10 or 12 people. And because you're in a team, people are working on their own individual goals, but they're working on them in community with each other. So you have people who can give you encouragement, support. One of the things that's so important when you're working on anything is having a feedback mechanism, because you'll get in your head or you'll get stuck, and if you're not able to get some type of continuous feedback, then you'll stay stuck. And so we have that component going on. And so the teamwork, I talk about this all the time. I call it the collective energy. The sum is greater than its parts. So you're bringing energy as part of the team, and the team is giving you energy too. It's just so hard to achieve our goals and dreams without being witnessed. You know, having folks who are just people we can share it with, right? Even if nothing else, but to celebrate and have a community of people that support us unconditionally. You know, unfortunately, sometimes our friends and family, as much as they love us, they aren't always supportive of what we're doing. Or they're bringing their fear, their biases, their experiences into what we're doing, and they can rain on our parade a little bit or be a little threatened or jealous, just regular human emotions. But this environment that we create, there's none of that going on. So it kind of clears all that out and creates a safe place for people to be with others who can really fully support them. And then that becomes a touchstone for that person when they are being hit with some of the other things in their other relationships or life. They always have our club to come back to get that support.
Absolutely.
So,
well, you know, and I can totally relate to that, because when I first got into business, I thought that it was about being a lone wolf, kind of, you know, like that, you know, you have to do all this stuff. You have to learn how to do everything by yourself and go make it happen. And you're the only one there. That's all there is. And so for the people who are maybe watching this broadcast now or later, I would love to know from you, what are the things that you do by yourself or that you do on your own that if you got support or help on, that it would change and rock your whole business, like it would accelerate it and make it go faster. I would love to hear about what some of those things are. So go ahead and, you know, type it in the chat or add it whenever you're watching this, even if it's later. I would love to know what it is that you do by yourself. And because those are the things that are really opportunities for some amazing breakthroughs. And I had a friend in business for many, many years, and she would laugh at me because I was always like, just pushing through and being, you know, this, I can do it myself, you know, kind of like a 4-year-old. I got this. I can do it myself. And she's like, people can help you, you know. And so that kind of comes up with this second question, which is about partnership, which, you know, and that's an area that I truly also pushed against, you know, saying, well, I got this. I think I got this. And yet when I created a game that was about daily accountability, I found that people fell off, even with a Facebook group or whatever else I was asking of them, saying, you know, we're going to play this every day. It's going to change your life. And they're like, okay. And they didn't. And I'd be like, I don't understand. Why didn't you? And so, of course, Michelle saw that game and saw that it was a daily thing and how it was a perfect marriage with this kind of team environment of accountability. And she started talking to me and saying, "This is perfect for you." And I'm like, "Nope, I got this. I got this." And she's like, "Well, just try it. Just try it." And so this whole idea of loving someone until they can see the potential, and then eventually actually seeking out and linking arms, right? And saying, "Okay, so now I can be the poster child. Okay, don't take that long. Don't resist, right? Why are we resisting partnership?" But I think that this goes into a greater conversation and now into my question of that long preamble, which is, how can you partner then best with coaches, consultants, people who have something that really can help people with, but then they find that people get stuck in their heads. They do that. How can you partner with people in that way?
Well, thank you so much for that. And first, I love partnering with you. And I mean, I didn't have to work on you that hard. You came around. But it really isn't more of an experiential thing. So a lot of people that I work with do like to come in and have an experience in one of my clubs to kind of test it out for themselves and think about, how could this work for my people? But yeah, I mean, for me, the reason in my business model, the partnership just really works really well is because most other coaches, consultants, as I said earlier, they are experts on a certain topic, on how to get clients, on how to lose weight, whatever their topic is, how to write a book, how to do social media, whatever. And so they bring the subject matter, they bring the topic that people are working on and interested in doing. And they also bring the people. So for those who are somewhat established, you have an email list, you have a following on social media, you have some of your work in a course format already that people are going through. That person is a perfect partner for me because they already have the content and the platform, the brand, the audience, that sort of thing. So we can just plug my club into what they're doing as a complement and create an additional stream of income for them. And it can fully support what it is that they're doing. It's a complement. It's not a competition. And for me, I don't have to go through all the effort of trying to become the subject matter expert on every subject. I don't have to try to go find all the people and spend months and years building the list and growing the audience. So when I work with people who've already done that piece, and then I bring what I'm great at, which is I know how to use my club platform to create groups and engagement, and I know how to get people to do the work. So you're teaching them what to work on, and I'm teaching them how to work on it. And it really forms a nice marriage, and it really helps accelerate and boost whatever the person I'm working with, whatever they're already doing with their clients. It helps them take it to another level. And it can become a significant stream of income as well, which is really nice. No one's going to complain about that.
Well, exactly. And, that comes down to that whole idea of how you're structuring your business, right? Is how are you scaling a business so that you get to have more play and fun? Like, how do you make a business that's not all you one-on-one or even you in, live in a group? That how do you create something that's going to support you living the life of your dreams? And
right.
Do you see that kind of system and membership causes that as well as this kind of play shift that we're seeing as well?
Definitely. I mean, if you're a coach, consultant, subject matter expert watching this, you already know that it can be difficult to scale your business and leverage yourself so that you can make a nice living and even a very lucrative one. So the challenge that we've had is we've been told, create a course and you can leverage yourself. However, my big challenge is courses aren't coaching, courses are teaching. Coaching is actually helping somebody implement the work. And up until now, we haven't had a tool that would allow a coach to help people in a more one-on-one way, but where they could also be fully leveraged. So let me give an example. So I started a club with Andy Dooley, andydooley.com. So he brought the expertise of his subject matter, his people. We started a group with just about 20 people as a beta, just to kind of test it out, see how it went. Out of that 20 people, we had 13 people who wanted to continue in the next round when we offered it again, and then we did a larger promotion, and now we have 55 people in our group. But some of the people from our first group are now our assistants in the next one. So now we just built a team. And so we're growing a team that can work in our club alongside growing the membership. And also the way we set it up is it will turn into a recurring offering and ongoing income stream. So the club format that I offer is something that can help you scale the coaching aspect of your business, which is something that's been very hard for coaches to do unless they're charging the super big bucks, the $10, $20, $40, $50,000 for these really super premium high level mastermind groups. I have a way to scale your business at lower price points where the majority of your people can actually get the help that they're looking for.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. I'm excited about what's possible then for coaches and the coaching industry because of that, and this whole idea of not being a lone wolf in that, right? And then stepping out and saying, how do we bring in partners, team, and even grow our own clients into being team? That's really exciting. That is really exciting.
Yeah, it is. It actually, in the model that I have, a lot of people in the program end up becoming coaches in the program later on. Mm-hmm. So that's great. So your people do grow with you, and when they're coaching others in it, they've really developed mastery around it. Plus, they've really developed that brand loyalty. They're with you for life, like they're one of your peeps. So yeah. It really just fosters deep connections with your clients and your community.
So many of the people in my community are not just coaches, but they're also creating games. Like they want fun. Like that. Mm-hmm. This is kind of their deal. They are looking to add more fun into their businesses in a way that truly engages their people. And for people who are doing game development and maybe adding a game to their business, how do you see this as both supporting them on that journey of creating their game and then after they have their game, making it more profitable?
Sure. Well, I'm definitely a believer that you should be your own client as well as provide your service for other people. So the club really lends itself to that. So what I have people do, and we're doing this in your Game Creators Club, Jean, is that use the club, use the daily check-ins for yourself, use the coaching and accountability for yourself as you're building your game, testing your game, marketing your game, so that you have that daily support that you need as somebody who's developing a game. And then use the platform with your game so that your clients and customers and the people playing your game will also have the daily support of playing, and you can build a community around it that you can monetize a lot better than just a Facebook group. So if your game is designed to be a daily practice game as well, it's a perfect marriage for that. If it's more of a once-in-a-while thing, then it might not be. But I think, Jean, you specialize in transformational games, and we know that to create transformation, people need to be in that space of doing the work continuously. So for those types of games, it's a really perfect complement.
Exactly. And excuse me, it excites me to have this kind of layering of what can happen for a game, because it's not just then about creating a game, which is a product that, we just sell through Amazon or something like that. It's about creating a system that allows us to move into that scalable model with our game as well. So that's really, really exciting. Yeah. I want to touch on a little bit before we wrap up about becoming a partner and partnering on bigger projects like this together. Like, what do you think for people who are sticking their toe into the partnership world? What do you think is most important for people to consider as they bring on partners, or initially they tend to hire consultants and then after that they become partners, right? Or it evolves into those kind of things. What do you think is the most important thing that people should consider as they do that kind of search?
Sure. Well, there's a couple things, and it also depends on what you mean by partnership. So in our partnership, in Jean and my partnership, we're very connected. We meet every week. We're in the club together. We're working extremely closely together. If that's the nature of a partnership, I think that you have to be in alignment as people first. I think there's just something about having that right chemistry, interpersonal chemistry, is really important. Another thing is your business visions and values need to also be in alignment. Are you guys moving in the same direction? Do you want the same things, whether it's for your own individual businesses or together, to make sure you're really in sync? And then lastly, it's just really important to establish the relationship kind of rules of engagement, not from a place of, like we're anticipating problems, but more of we're setting ourselves up for success because we've established how it is that we want to work with each other ahead of time, so that if things arise that we didn't anticipate, we have something to come back to and say, hey, we talked about this. Does this still make sense or not? And that just, in any relationship, in a marriage, whatever relationship is, you want to have that. So you want it in business as well. Yeah. And not everyone will be a good partner for you. And I think the other thing is you can't be afraid to say no.
Well, I think that's where I usually stand, is I just want to say yes because I like lots of people, right? Like, that would be so cool. Let's do that. And then we could, for a little further down the road, and then see that we're not actually working on the same thing, or that we're not actually, going in the same direction. And that happens a lot in coaching style businesses, especially with right brain people, as we change our minds. And yet when you find that core or heart of what you're about, when you can align on that, I think partnership is much easier. Is finding that one thing at the center. And I think one of the things that you and I both share is that we truly want people to have their life and their businesses work amazingly, like with fun and joy. Like that's what their business needs to look like. And I think we both know that without a daily practice, that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as you're saying that, one other thought came to mind is I suggest that anybody who is considering a partnership, to what I call date before you marry, do a project first. Do a one-off course or promotion or something to test the relationship and work out the kinks and say, I like this person, I like what we did, I want to keep going, or, all right, maybe it's not quite the fit, and no harm, no foul, everyone can kind of go back to what they were doing before. And so I usually have a two-step process in partnerships with people where we do a test, we do a beta, we do a pilot, and then if that goes well, we'll reassess where we go from there. So because you can't always possibly predict how it's all going to unfold ahead of time. So sometimes you have to have phases and steps where you reassess and decide mutually where we go from here.
Beautiful. Yeah, we do that same thing in game development where we step in, we say, okay, well, let's get to the creative idea first. And then we have a little stopping point to evaluate. Where are we at? How is this going?
Right.
And then should we move on to testing? Okay, now we're going to test. And then should we move on to scalable? So I love creating those kind of stopping points along the way for people to really reflect how it's aligned with them, because ultimately everything just needs to be 100% you, like aligned with who you are, who you want to be in the marketplace, and how you create that for people and do what you're here on the planet to do.
Yeah.
So I want to give you an opportunity to tell how to find you and how to learn more about clubs if that is something that is calling to them. What is the best way for people to find you or to have a conversation with you about that?
Sure. Well, go to my website, getitdoneclubs.com, and there's a contact page on there. You can reach out to me. Also, I'm very accessible on Facebook, so you could look me up in Facebook. I think, Jean, maybe you'll post my link in the video for folks. Friend me, message me. That's usually a good place to start. And we just set up a phone call and say hi, meet, discuss ideas, and we go from there. So it's pretty easy. It's pretty casual. And it's just about having a conversation.
Yeah. And working with Michelle it's fun. It's easy, and sometimes it's challenging even, and it pushes us where we want to go, right? And no, not so much that, but
I try not to.
Yeah. But see, she gets results. That is it. She gets it done. And if that's what you're truly craving in your business, I would encourage you to at least have a conversation and see where that might go, because it is very extraordinary. So thank you so much for joining me for a Game On interview today. I am Jean Berry, and I help coaches, authors, speakers hire me to create branded games out of their transformational, fabulous work so that they can have fun, serious fun, and serious profit. So, yay. Glad you joined me today for this Game On interview. Thank you, Michelle. And we will see you all again soon.